Hello and welcome to Sounding Board. Today we're talking about the legislative process, basically how an idea turns into a law. I'll walk you through the key steps from introducing a bill to voting and final approval, so you can better understand how decisions that affect our daily lives are made. In the United States, a bill becomes a law in Congress, which meets at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Congress is made up of two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. For a bill to become a law, it must be approved by both the House and the Senate. Once both houses pass the bill, it is sent to the president, who can sign it into a law or veto it. The legislative process starts with an idea. Every law starts as an idea or policy proposal. This spark can come from anywhere: a constituent's personal story, a grassroots campaign identifying the problem, or an advocacy organization's policy team. However, only a member of Congress can introduce a bill, so the idea must find a legislative champion. It could be congressman, senator, interest group, or the executive branch. The next step after the idea is drafting the bill. Advocates can propose bill text, supply evidence and stories to shape provisions, and secure an influential legislature to champion the cause. Under the legislator's direction, the idea is written as a bill. Research and drafting assistance is provided, and the bill is prepared in the appropriate form. Having data and constituent stories on hand can't convince a lawmaker that the issue is real and is urgent. Midway through the process is the introducing and sponsorship of the bill. When a representative or senator agrees to sponsor the idea, they will finalize the text and introduce the bill by submitting it to their chamber. In the House, the bill is dropped in the hopper or a box for new bills. In the Senate, a senator may verbally introduce it on the floor. It's then referred to the appropriate committee by the chamber's presiding officer. Upon introduction, other legislatures can add themselves as co sponsors to signal support. Now that we've gotten the ball rolling from the introductory stage, the next step is the committee action. Once referred, the bill lands in the jurisdiction of a House or Senate committee. The committee stage is where the real work happens. The committee chair may send the bill to a subcommittee for specialized review or hold it for full committee. The subcommittee can hold hearings to take testimony from experts, executive agencies, or the public. They may then proceed to a markup session to debate amendments and eventually vote. If approved at the subcommittee, it returns to the full committee for further markup and vote on whether to report the bill to the chamber with a recommendation. Throughout this, the committee staff might prepare reports on the bill's impact. If the committee votes against the bill or simply never brings it up, the bill dies at this stage. And that's not what we aim for most of the time. Now it's time to vocalize why this bill is so important or impactful at the House of Action. When the bill is taken up on the floor, it is debated by the full chamber. In the House, debate time is usually split evenly between proponents and opponents and strictly limited to about 1 or 2 hours. A member managing the bill leads the pro side. Once it gets to the floor, the focus is on persuading all members to vote your way. After both House and Senate approve the identical bill, either via conference report or one chamber adopting the other's text, the legislative branch's work is done. The bill is enrolled, printed in its final form, and sent to the president. This is effectively the bill's graduation from Congress. Now that we're in the final stretch of this process, it is time for government action.
The president has a constitutionally defined role in legislation: sign, veto, or take no action. A president who supports the bill will usually sign it fairly quickly, often with a public signing ceremony if it's significant. If the president opposes the bill, they issue a message explaining why. Congress can attempt a veto override with two-thirds vote of each chamber. If the president neither signs nor vetoes within 10 days and Congress remains in session, the bill becomes law by default. But if that 10-day period expires and Congress has adjourned, the unsigned bill dies and goes into a pocket veto. And that is the legislative process. I hope that you all have enjoyed this the steps in how a bill becomes a law, as I have enjoyed explaining it to you in this way. Have a wonderful day.